Hey, welcome to Facebook Live and the podcast, the videos, and all that. I'm Joey Little, your social little man, here to hopefully entertain you and to educate you. I want to thank a ton of new followers and new watchers, listeners, whatever you want to call in the last week. And it's been unbelievably amazing, the amount of support and the amount of feedback that I've been getting, positive feedback for what I'm doing here with the Facebook Lives, also with the podcast and the videos you can watch later on Facebook or on YouTube, excuse me. Having a conversation. I got somebody coming in to Kansas City from, where is Abby from? Abby is from outside in Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky. So she's asking about some cool things happening here in Kansas City. So I guess I can handle that as well. If you need any information on it, if you're coming to Kansas City, would love to show you what's up and tell you what's up if I can't make it out with you. So today we're going to talk about Facebook lists. And a lot of people understand that there are a lot of Facebook lists, or there are Facebook lists, but not a lot of people utilize Facebook lists or really understand what they are good for. Hopefully today in the podcast and video, I'm going to give you a kind of a breakdown of what a Facebook list is, what it's good for, and how it's going to make your life a lot easier if you're using online or social, et cetera, et cetera. It can be a little bit tedious. For a Facebook list, if you have a lot of Facebook friends right now and you've not had lists, so if you're in the 500 plus Facebook friends and you're wanting to get started with Facebook lists after what you hear here or see here, it's going to take you a little bit of work. It's going to be an evening that you're going to have to take and diligently just sit down and make it happen. So I like the golf shirt better than the suit, FYI. So we're in this, we've executive meetings here in Kansas City getting ready for NADA next year. So I had to put on today sales meetings. So I actually have to go down and speak to the entire Auto Alert sales team on social media and the products we have here at Auto Alert, and also how we encourage our employees to share and to talk about what they do at Auto Alert and really kind of, explain to the world and brag about what they do and what they sell. So that's going to be fun. That's in about 35 minutes. So you get me for at least 30 minutes today. But we're talking about Facebook lists. Just by a show of hearts or any thumbs up online, those that are watching right now. Hello, Heather. How are you? Heather Saller. Just by a show of thumbs up or hearts online, how many of you currently know that you have Facebook lists and proactively put new Facebook friends or whatever into different lists? Is it just by a show of hearts or just by a thumbs up? Let me know. Just get kind of an idea. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to kind of explore and tell you the different friend lists that I have on Facebook. And yes, you can do this from the mobile. There's some. Looks like some of y'all are using those. That's good. It's good stuff. I currently have probably 30 Facebook lists on Facebook, which several I don't utilize well enough, is what Stephanie is saying. So Facebook will start you out with the basic lists that they believe that you should have. So if you work for it, such as here at Auto Alert, I have an Auto Alerts list on my Facebook, which automatically, if I friend anybody on Facebook that works at Auto Alert as well, that they put in their profile that they work at Auto Alert. Thanks, Kenneth, for showing up. It's automatically going to put them in a list. So I have a list that's specifically just Auto Alerts, right? And Facebook will automatically do that for me, which is cool. So right now I currently have 113 friends that are in my Auto Alert list. That will change also. If somebody not late on Hawaiian time, I've heard that before. That will also change if you have any employees that you're close with that leave your company or whatever. They'll stay as a friend of you on Facebook, but they'll drop out of your list depending on when they change where they work at. Also, they got a family list that's on here. So anybody that lists themselves as your family, or you list them as your family, a brother, sister, mother, cousin, et cetera, et cetera. I think I have, I'm just going to look up that one too. I think I have a ton of those. These are ones that Facebook actually make for you. I have 30 on my family list. And I'll explain why these are cool to have these people in these lists. And if you're not even going to make your own list, use the ones that Facebook provide for you. I know they're available, but I haven't utilized outside of what Facebook had listed. What's up? Catching you live for an in. Thanks, Adam. I appreciate it, man. We're talking about Facebook lists today and how they're going to help you out on your personal branding and how it's going to help you out on the content that you're putting out on the web. And so you're not blowing everybody out. So we just talked about the ones that Facebook make for you. They make you also your school. So everybody that I went to high school that also mentions on Facebook or puts in their profile that they went to the same high school that I went to, they're going to be gathered into a list. Your location is the same way. So I'm in Kansas City, City, Missouri as my hometown, or where I live right now. Topeka is my hometown, but it will put everybody from Kansas City, Missouri in a list. Those are the ones that Facebook make for you. Now, if you're into personal branding and selling yourself online, right, you've got different people that you want to sell yourself to. Unless you're like a car salesman or somebody who just sells to anybody, then that's a little bit different. But I will tell you, in my situation, as being somebody who has friends all over the country, a ton of friends in Canada, and now a lot of friends in the UK area, also Germany, if Klaus joins us, Klaus is in Germany. But there's certain things that I don't want to blow out other people with. So if I'm going to have a local event that I want to promote things, give you an example. NADA is coming up next week. It's National Auto Dealers Association convention. It's the biggest, it's the Super Bowl for all people that are involved in automotive retail on the vendor side, the consultant side, and also the people that are in the trenches selling cars every single day. Can you add people to multiple lists? Absolutely, Sharon can add people to multiple lists, and we'll get into that in a second. So I add every single one of you. Kenny wants to be in the 6L group. How about you, Brad Bashel? It's good. I see the 6L things. Fun fact, my BFF saw your Social Little Man sticker on my planner, and it was like, oh yeah, it's Kevin Smith. When you put somebody in restricted, but if they're still in the family group. We'll talk about that in a second as well, Heather. Appreciate the questions coming in. But I'm going to follow with, so every person that I know that's out there that sells cars, that does that for a living, I have a list that I have created. I had to create it myself in Facebook. Very simple to do it. You can do it when you're just going to add your first person in there. And it just says dealers, right? And so I put every single person that I know that I'm connected with on Facebook that actually is in the trenches selling cars at a dealership. I put them in that list, right? People like Adam Ross or others that are in the automotive retail industry that necessarily aren't at dealerships selling cars, but are helping out dealerships with solutions, consulting, et cetera, et cetera. I put them in auto industry. So I have two separate lists here, and a dealer may be in both. They may be, and absolutely, they should be in both. So I've got auto industry, which is every single person I'm connected to on Facebook that is in the automotive retail industry, not necessarily in the retail side, but also I've got friends that work for the OEMs, that work for Ford, that work for Toyota, that are in manufacturing. They all go in auto industry. Now, why do I do that? So when Auto Alerts is throwing a party at NADA, right? And I want to invite every single dealer that I'm connected to on Facebook, because I'm not sure how many of those are actually going to go to New Orleans this weekend. I don't see everything or know what all my dealer friends are doing. What I'm going to do is when that event is created, when I go in to invite my network to the Auto Alerts function, the first place I'm going to go, now that you've knocked the headphones off your logo, can I not? Now that you've added the headphones to your logo, can I knock the old one off? Yes, you can. What do I have to do to add you? Create some lists for me? Absolutely, I'll help you out with the. So what I'll do is I will invite all my dealer friends too. No offense to my vendor friends out there that help dealerships, but here's the deal: we're throwing the party for the dealers. That's what we're doing it for. So we're going to invite them first. And so what I'm able to do is, since I only have 500 invites to an event that I create, I want to be able to invite the people that I want to be there first and know about it first. So I'm able to, when I'm going to go ahead and invite people to it, I can do it by list. I can go in there to my dealer list and I can see all my friends that I have, who's a vendor, consultant, vendor, et cetera, et cetera. And I can invite them one by one, or I've got a Chrome app that I use, which is an invite all app. If you want that one, hit me up and I'll send you the link to, if you're using Chrome, how you can invite everybody in a certain list to something. That's the Facebook event list. And no, yeah, it's 500 if you create your own event. And I think it's 50 if you want to invite other people to an event that you've been invited to, that they open it up. So that's a big thing. Why do I want to do it? Not only can I just really pick out the people that I want to invite to an event, at the same time, I'm not going to blow this out and waste those invites for people I know they're not going to have. We need to wish Gary a happy birthday. Happy birthday. So I don't want to invite, people I went to high school with that have nothing to do with automotive retail that I know not even going to be near New Orleans, and waste those invites on those people. So, you can do the same thing, with sold customers or recent customers. If you're adding customers as your friends on Facebook is you can put them in a list, recently sold customers, and put them in a list. And if you're going to have an event at the dealership, just a VIP event, you can actually go in there and you can invite your recently sold customers to come back for this event if you're, 6 months out or whatever it is. And yes, happy birthday to Gary May. Gary May, I bet you get more than, I'm going to guess right now, I'm going to go over 600 Facebook posts saying happy birthday to you. I'm going to go over under 600. I'm going to go the over, way over. So that is a reason. Other reasons for me are not everybody's into my content. Not everybody needs to see my content. I've got, let's see here. I'm just kind of going through. I'll give you some of the ideas that I have. I have the consultants that I know that are connected to me on Facebook. You can also get the benefit of creating a stream on Facebook to isolate those people as a newsfeed. Yeah, Adam, I like where you're going here because that's where the next step that I was going to go. You actually, I have consultants on here. I mean, I've got social sellers on here. I've got, let's see here, Red Sox fans. Everybody I know that's a diehard Red Sox fan is on here. Now, what's unusual about this is if you use the desktop version, if you're wanting to use Facebook as a tool as your own personal CRM or as a networking tool and want to get the full benefit out of it, you're going to have to use a desktop or a laptop. It's every once in a while, you're going to have to. You cannot do everything from your phone. I don't care who says what. That's my opinion, and I'm going to stick to it. You cannot do everything from your phone. Every single person that has asked me for any kind of advice for how they can expand their reach to talk, that's the very head. I'm going to get into the stream thing. You're going to hear it here in Stephanie. Hold on just a little bit, Stephanie. But you have to use your laptop or desktop on Facebook to do a lot of things and to really understand. So how does this work for the stream thing? So I've got all these lists on Facebook, and if I'm able to go to the Explore factor on the left-hand side of the desktop version, and I click on Friends, it's going to show me every list of friends that I have, right? So I've got a list, believe it or not, it's called the Golden Unicorns, right? And the Golden Unicorns is a list of friends that I have, single friends, men and women that have never been married, they don't have their own children, they may have bonus kids or from previous relationships like myself, never been to jail, never been had a restraining order put on them or had to put one on somebody else, over the age of 30, and financially independent. Those are golden unicorns, right? They're hard to find, impossible to find. So I have a list. There's a few of us online. I can actually click on the golden unicorn link in the list of friends, and what it's going to do is it's going to show me a news feed of only the content that is being put out by the people in that list. Right, I know that's very specific. I know that. But let's just say dealers, right? Let's go back to just dealers. Let's look at that. So my dealer friends out there, because of course, if you're a car dealer, how many are on the unicorn list? That is secret. Can't tell you how many on the unicorn list, right? So if I go into dealers and dealer has, let's see here, I have a ton there. I can actually just make it so I just see the latest content. It's a news feed. It's basically like your regular Facebook news feed, but imagine if you just took a lot of the people that you're connected with and just pushed them out and only specifically looked at those specific people's posts. It becomes, there are 4 total. Is that what Stephanie says? I think there's more. There are specifically, you can see those, and that's it. So it takes around all the other stuff that's kind of clogging up your news feed from other, and if I want to specifically, which is really good, is if I want to stay in touch with dealers, because if you don't know what I do for a living, car dealers are my customers. Car dealers are my consumers. Having trouble watching the podcast. The Wi-Fi is junk I'm sorry, I apologize. Maintaining a list can be tedious. Make sure people won't change categories. Adam Ross, it is, yes. Do you know any other dealer besides Crosley? I know tons of dealers. We got a bunch that are in here right now. You can do some prospecting on these Facebook Lives if you wanted to, because there's a ton of dealers that watch these. And so what I can do is if you have my dealers, it helps me stay in touch and connected with my dealer friends and hopefully stay like a little top of mind. I can see here Dara Moore, dealership up in the Northwest. She's got a post here. So of course I can comment on it, and I can spend maybe about 5 minutes every day just going through the news feed of just those people in that list, because those are the ones that I really am, really connecting to, that I want to see what kind of posts I'm putting out there that really support what Auto Alert does for a living. No, Gary May, he doesn't. I do. I know a dealer down in Oklahoma City. I do know a great social marketer. So this is the reason for lists. Now, if you're into Rodan and Fields, I've noticed that we've got a lot of people, thanks to Mandy Jordan Smith, which I'll need to tag in this again. She has got an army of married ladies that are part of the Rodan and Smith product line. They sell it. It's like a culture. And ever since she shared my video with her group of ladies, it is ladies, I've just getting an abundance of follows and friend requests from them, which absolutely I'll take. And if you're watching this right now, thank you so much for checking this one out. But I'm going to put all those ladies and men, if it ends up being men, and I'm going to put them in a list. And I'm going to put them in a list of Rodan and Fields, right? Am I saying it right? Rodan and Fields? I'm going to put them in a list, right? And so then I can segment it out. Oh my God, somebody buy me some, great, but I got champagne taste on the beer budget. We're going to get you hooked up with the right people, Stephanie. So I can put all of them in a list. I can put them all in a list, and then I can just kind of communicate with those with the news feed. I didn't know there were other dealers out there. Big world. Tons of dealers out there, right? So what I would suggest, and you can do this for anything. So I've got, I even had a list of every old girlfriend I had. So I put all the old girlfriends in one list, right? I bet she'd like, you said Rodan and Smith? Is that what I said? Oh, I apologize. I used C first. Yeah, you can do C first also, Kenny, but you get too many people in there, and definitely you can do your own strategy for this. This is just my opinion and how I see things and what I suggest of what works for me. A little Freudian there with Rodan and Smith. I can't believe it. Rodan and Fields. I've never bought their products, so please don't bang me up too hard. But I got people from my hometown in here. I've got, excuse me, from where I'm from. I even have the old company that I used to work for. I kept it around, Vin Solutions. But yeah, definitely your chance to set up lists. Be careful, buddy. Uh-oh. Hanging on his every word, Stephanie. I'm flattered today. Heather's coming at me. So what I would like to know is you decide to do this, if you're going to sit down, and if you want an idea of what list to create, if you want to know what lists to put out there, you're more than welcome to hit me up. We can work on a strategy together when it comes to your personal branding and what kind of shit you put out there and what kind of lists you'd have. I've got anything from social sellers, I think that earlier. I've got writers. Stephanie, I'm the jerk that calls people out. I can't believe that one slipped past me. Don't be the jerk that calls people out. Makes me very insecure inside. That's what she said. Made a list of all my sorority sisters. Super helpful. Look at Emily Staples coming in the group here. Congratulations, Emily. What's the name of your sorority? She got accepted into her sorority up there at Iowa State University. Emily worked here at Auto Alert and worked for me for a summer, and hopefully we'll come back in intern again next summer. So, yeah, exactly. This one coming up. See you in New Orleans, Gary. Thanks for joining. Happy birthday to you. So, if you want to understand what kind of lists, here's some ideas of what lists you can make if it's just for personal Chi Omega, excuse me. Congratulations. Can I get one of your stickers put on the back of my truck? Can I just so it says proud friend of a Chi Omega sorority sister. So what kind of list do you make out there? If you're friends with, if you're married and your wife, excuse me, your wife has a lot of friends you can put them in a list. What you can also do, which is really kind of cool here, an iced chai, Chi Omega, excuse me. What you can also do here is you can restrict people seeing your posts that are in certain lists, or make a post that is only seen by people in a certain list, such as if I'm going to put a Kansas City type post that really has nothing to do with anybody else except for the Kansas City area, I can choose just to make it so only the people in that Kansas City list will see that post. And the other way around. If I'm going to put something out there that's Kai's, what are we talking about now? Sororities? I love how these go. I'm so distracted. It's crazy how this is like, I know the international word is squirrel, but I'm getting, and here comes the 6X. So we got sorority talk going on right now. These are the lists that you should be making. You should be making a list of every sorority girl that you know. You should be making a list of every handsome man that you know that wears a 6XL, which start with Kenny Landrum there. You can make a list of those who like to be jerks and call people out. Put Stephanie in that one. So just an idea of lists, and they work out really well. If you are Barrett Jackson is in Scottsdale. Yeah, they are. Yes, I understand. You can make a list for anything. And now the restricted side of things. So if I have a post that I want to put out that's kind of private, that I just want to have certain, I can have a close friends list. I can have a list that I just put my best friends, my closest friends in there, and I can make a post and just make it so nobody else can see it except for them. Or I can make a post where I just keep them from seeing it at all. It's an idea that I don't think a lot of people are taking advantage of. It's a feature inside of Facebook I do not think a lot of people are taking advantage of. I think it's an opportunity for you now. I have that now, thank God. So if you want some help with that, if you want some information, if you want to getting the coughs again today, huh? That's going to suck right before NADA. Plus the auto alert party is tonight. That's going to be fun down in Westport. Off the subject, but hey, since we're already off the subject. So give me an idea right now. What do you think, if you're running lists right now, what is your craziest list that you have on? Which, by the way, to all of those listening to the podcast, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Those listening on Facebook Live, it's the same thing. I appreciate this. If you want to listen to the podcast, you can also listen to it on iTunes. So if you don't catch the videos every day, you can subscribe to the podcast, which is this exact conversation that we're having right now. They're just in a recorded form, in an audio form that you can listen to in the car. You can listen to it at the beach. You can listen to it as you lay in bed at night, as you're trying to fall asleep, and listen to the smooth sounds of Joey Little. It's all possible. If you've got Android, it's available in the Google Music area. Just have to search Little Man, all one word. I'm going to make a golden unicorn list. Stephanie is. Stephanie, unfortunately, you're not a golden unicorn, but you can make that list. And there's only a few in there. You can make your list also, Bill's is my list. You can make your list public. You can also make your list private. So let me see how I have golden unicorns here. I do believe I've got it just so my friends can see it. So also too intense political posting list. You can make a lot of different lists and just put your ideas into the comments and maybe somebody can get, inspired by what you're posting about or what you're doing. But it's a great way. Also, I'd like to see, former automotive people are now outside the industry. Great list. I would like to see, if you're watching this right now, in the future, stay with me this long, I would like a suggestion of what list you think you would be in when it came to my list. What list would you be in? What list would you create that would be specifically for you? And get creative. I'd love to hear the ideas. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you put it in the YouTube comments, or you can email, Facebook, Twitter me. Just look up Social Little Man through Google and you can check it out. So I've got to go. I got a sales team to go train a bit today. And I will see a lot of you next week in New Orleans at the NADA conferences. I'll have the Social Little Man t-shirts along with the Social Little Man stickers. Go hammer some apple cider vinegar. And I will also have passes to go see Spin Doctors at the Republic in NOLA. If you're not part of the automotive industry and you want to go to this party and you're going to be in NOLA or you're going to sneak away and try to come down there, send me a private message and I'll try to hook you up. I'll say hello to your husband there, Sharon. And finally, Robin sharing a single thought. I don't want to lose my mind. We're going to have a talk to about couples accounts on Facebook as well, the pros and the cons to those. And I think Sharon is going to be answering a lot of questions because I have a lot of questions I want to ask. Have a great day, everybody. And remember, keep smiling, all right?